I guess it's not no exciting. So every time I give you guys an anime review, episode 1 was spring of 2024, not 2024, 2025, spring season. This is called, let me see, what's his name? It's called your Forma, whatever you want to call your Forma. I don't know what that means, so I really don't know. But yeah, anyway, so this is the first time I've ever seen based on the spring of this anime, watching it and stuff like that, and basically it seems really good. But I will say that the anime is kind of a little boring, just a little bit, but not really. Basically, boring. And I want to personally say here is just that it's pretty much this anime is pretty much just hard to detect and basically see what's the flaw basically going on with this anime and just showing like what's going on. Now this anime does have the requirements to remind me of a different kind of a few movies I've seen in the past. Now take that for one thing, Will Smith. Will Smith plays in the movie. He plays in pretty much a lot of pretty much good movies that he played in. And one thing he played in was basically a movie called I, Robot, which is basically a movie called I, Robot. If you guys don't know what I, Robot is basically all about, I said it in the middle of my live reaction. I, Robot is basically all about where Will Smith, he's basically a detective kind of guy. He's kind of considered basically as a cop kind of person, and he doesn't like robots because what happened back into the past because one of the robots saw him, he was more in trouble than somebody else. What he was trying to say here is basically that he blames the robot because he didn't the robot did not rescue this girl. She was mostly in danger instead of him. But even though with the lifespan of him, he survived more rate than the other person. And the reason I'm saying is because like robots can tend to make mistakes. Sometimes they can, sometimes they don't. It really depends on a personality as a robot. Now robots are basically programmed to obey when it comes in basically of a law. Now this law is basically a lot more different than the movie from iRobot. However, iRobot has different laws when it comes in based to the anime also as well too. And I want to explain this also as well too because it can get quite complicated and basically stuff like that. Because if a robot were to basically commit crime, they have to be put to death or something like that. It's really hard to explain. It really actually is. I don't really know that really bases that too much or anything like that. Because like I said before, because based with this anime is that the anime kind of regards basically the opposite of the iRobot with Will Smith is basically that they have to show respect. They have to show respect to humans, because if they don't show any respect to humans, then they will probably be deactivated because of the certainties of these situations and basically stuff like that. Yes, I do believe there is robots and spaces out there that pretty much that they know a lot more than what we really do know. But the problem is that we're the ones that basically created. Like I said before, I said many times before, back in some other videos I've made, that we are humans. We made a cell phone. We made a cell phone. The cell phone is supposed to do what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to call. Like say I'm supposed to call my grandma. I'm supposed to call my girlfriend Alice. Call my cousin, my friend, or going to church or whatever it is and stuff like that. And basically, I do have an AI on my phone, which I can use. So sometimes the AI has to require basically of that request. What I mean is basically that if we need so seriously based off of some help, it means that we can just ask about like what's our destination to go here or go there, whatever it is basically that. And that's what they're basically programmed to do, or also programmed to answer questions as well too. That's kind of like based with robots. Now talking about with Star Wars Episode 1, where basically the Viceroy was giving orders to a robot to make sure that he does his job, and told him just basically like, so you have to be careful because their Jedi's came on one of your ships and stuff like that. And the reason why they're basically giving orders because they have to follow those orders. They have to obey. But what happens if they were to disobey? If they were to basically disobey, could that be their fault? To be honest with you, I don't think it's not really because it's our fault, because I don't think it's not because it's their fault. It's not just because it's that, but it's basically placed onto us because we are the ones that make these things when it comes to cell phone, laptop, or Nintendo Switch, or whatever it is, and stuff like that, because we're the ones that make it all this technology and stuff like that. I also personally want people to remember when it comes to with the iRobot based on the standard of the movie, because if they want to do something really wrong, then yes, they have to be put to death. That's the only way they can really basically do it. Talking about another movie, which is called AI, Artificial Intelligence. Basically, as a kid, his name is I don't know, Charlie. I think his name was Charlie. Not Harry, not Steve. No, I can't remember. I can't remember the name. But the boy was basically a program robot. It means that what it means basically is that he's supposed to be there with his mommy and his daddy and stuff like that. It's just sometimes the parents get a little kind of, I wouldn't say frustrated, but they get awkward moments because basically like seeing him basically like he's not really basically considered just basically as a real boy because he's really not because even though he wants his mom, that's what he really wants to be. And sometimes people would just basically they want him because for some specific reasons and basically stuff like that. And one thing I didn't like about the movies is basically that he became very, very selfish, a very, very selfish kind of person. I didn't like that too real. I'm not saying I'm against it or anything like that, but there's other different concepts and stuff like that when it comes to anime movies or a series basically about robots. Basically, kind of like with the Terminator, what you have like basically Skynet pretty much affected Skynet and stuff like that, and Terminator's gonna just obliterate the whole entire world and stuff. So it's really kind of sad. I do see myself basically want to continue with this anime, but I'm hoping that this anime does not go to a very slow pace. That's what it feels. It kind of basically feels to me. I don't know if the anime is going to pick up into the action, which I definitely do think it might happen. I just really don't know. But one thing I also wanted to say here also too, that robots do have ability to basically go in people's brains. What it means is that they can easily find who's the culprit really actually is, because going into the brain, it's kind of like what's going inside of them, what is their face, was there something that thinks that you like, and stuff like that. And basically, like some people have they search and stuff like that. We don't have that kind of technology to give a robot to basically really do that. Could that be very possible? We never know. We don't know if that's really as possible. No, I think it's very dangerous because to go into a mind, because if we were to hit the wrong thing inside the brain, that can pretty much kill the person basically in the hospital. So they have to be very cautious to not to mess with things. That's what they're basically supposed to do. But some people, as for myself, basically with regards to the movie, holding a grudge against a robot, I totally do understand. But I totally do understand, like I said, for basically Will Smith, because he's the only person that survived. The only person. That means that the girl he was trying to tell the robot, hey, save her, don't save me. Guess what? She died. She died because that's what happened. And Will Smith has to live with that for the rest of his life, And so it's PTSD, and I can just see how frustrated that really is, basically with somebody, and basically stuff. But you gotta remember that. You gotta remember, these robots are programmed to do what they're supposed to do. That's what they're supposed to do. Like I said before, when it comes to a cell phone, that's what they're supposed to do. That's how they basically interact with us. They don't talk to us every single day or anything like that, but they tell us a little different updates or something like that, like this needs to be done, that needs to be done, you need to update this, you need to update that. That's what basically what they're supposed to do. And that's my opinion. So yeah, anyways, that's it for now. This video. Tell me what you guys think. I'll leave it here what you guys have to say. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I was about to sing. But anyways, this other way, it was really good. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. I hope you have one day. I'm so sorry. Please leave me comments below. Please give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. Doesn't matter. And like I said before, please just leave me comments below. Anyways, I love you guys. Take care. I hope you have one day. Take care. God bless you. I love you guys. Please stay. And remember, stay blessed. Love you guys. Take care. Bye.